And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25.
And Seattle now ready to march onto the field.
Well, it's been a struggle so far for this offense, Charles. It's not only that they haven't been able to put the points up, but really stringing yards together has been a real issue for them in this one.
I'm so glad you brought up the yardage, because I was thinking to myself, we've seen a lot of NFL games, and we've seen our share of lopsided contests, but in almost all of them, both offenses have put up at least 200 yards in a game, but not in this one. This has been a display of offense that, frankly, I think the two of us have watched from behind our hands, trying to spread our fingers wide enough to actually see the result.
So the incomplete pass there, but the roughing the passer call bails them out.
Which means you have to stay on the field on defense longer because you've given the offense free snaps, not to mention the free yardage after that mistake.
The drive starts with a completion left side, and they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target.
Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Completes it to Fant on the right side. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down. It won't be by much. He needed 3, and he got 3, barely. But the mark shows first down.
Oftentimes we think of those tough yards as grinding yards that a running back has to pick up. How about the tight end there picking up the first down in that situation?
That's what he's there for, right?
Big fella, get it to him, let him fight off some people and pick up the necessary yardage.
From midfield, here's Locke. Throw out wide to Walker. And he is going to lose yardage here. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
Looking to throw again on second down. Locke. And that's going to be incomplete. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away. A special teams mistake there, no doubt. Just 26 yards officially on the punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Here's Memphis to once again go on offense. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate, but we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall. There's a lot of good on that play when we see the big fella take it and rumble into the secondary. But how about the big part of it, taking care of the football? He doesn't carry it very often, but when he does, he's got to make sure that he doesn't get it popped free. Unlike Mike Tolbert in Super Bowl 50, carrying the ball popped free, turnover, and it hurt his team.
And he'll get across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. A gain of 3, second down.
A good solid game there on first down, but the defense has to be happy they didn't let it pop for anything bigger.
They've gone to their fullback quite a bit. He'll get it again. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. This is where, fourth quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
You say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering where they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
So it's our visitors with a football as we get you reset. They've got it first and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. They'll run. Here's Janovich, the fullback. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. Clanks it off the right upright, and it's no good. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the fourth quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum to carry into the film session tomorrow.
If you get any type of points on the board, it'll count as a moral victory, although no one will talk about that in the post-game press conference. That's not something you mentioned in the NFL. And this loss, it already stings and will for a while, but everyone on that offense knows it'll sting a lot worse if they don't put some points up on the board.
Matthew Ioannidis, his second sack of the night.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Now left side, a completion to his tight end. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Now Locke. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this will be scooped up by the defense. And that should just about do it. They return it to the end zone, sealing it with a defensive touchdown.
But not much defensive resistance on that drive. And really, Charles, the way this offense has been humming, they haven't faced much defensive resistance the entire game.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that one team, their defense did not wake up and make it to the stadium for this one. There may be some major changes on that side of the ball when we see them the next time out.
And he pushed it right. It's no good. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return.
No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25.
And Seattle now ready to march out of the field.
At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the fourth quarter, facing the big deficit. Just what silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like 1 possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this Situation. He's going to try and run the best offense he can run to have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
Now Locke, he lost the football. It's out. And this is picked up by the defense. And that might just cement it. A return for a late touchdown.
That kind of puts the bow on what has been a complete performance, Charles. They're pitching a shutout on the other side in this offense. They've done their thing well, too.
Yeah, this game has been an all-out effort from them on every snap, and there's a good amount of pride on the line right now. They want to finish what they started. They want this shutout.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. On third down, here's Walker.
And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to fourth down. One final try for Locke. And this is dropped and incomplete. Well, there's a metaphor for how this one is gone, as time has run out on this ball game. So this crowd will not go home happy. It's a victory for our visitors. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, up a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for our visitors, they remain as hot as anyone, 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for Seattle, they can't quite seem to turn things around as they fall into 2-4 now on the year. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Philly to face off with the Eagles. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL.
I'm the best, and the best, as you know. And I got it, on my own. Get my way up, you know I go. If I touch it, then it's cold, I'm the best, and the best, as you know. And I got it, on my own. Get my way up, you know I go. If I touch it, then it's cold. For the park and they know I'm impressive. He wanna talk, but he not on the schedule. I ain't taking a from my boy heavy. I'm the best and you heard what I said. Spend all the money, I'm dripping, it's falling. Got on it, then it's dripping like water. Teaching but I don't have a daughter. I know me, I can pick up when I call it. Working big and it don't hurt the break, cause I'ma always do it how I wanna do it. Every time he lead a know it, Mr. Know I got him running to it. I'ma need to pull the mail before we talk it that I'm waking up and thumbing through it. Running like a runner do it. Stun on her till like a stunner do it. I'm the best, and the best, as you know. And I got it, on my own. Get my way up, you know I go. If I touch it, then it's cold. I'm the best, and the best, as you know. And I got it, on my own. Get my way up, you know I go. If I touch it, then it's cold. Top dog like I manage.